Welcome to the module on Basic Search and Rescue. By the end of this module, you will be able to explain the causes of collapsed structure search and rescue or CSSR, outline the composition of a search team, list the basic equipment used for search, explain the steps for searching and locating, explain search and location techniques and methods, explain role of volunteer in victim management. Collapsed structure search and rescue or CSSR is an operation to conduct safe search and rescue operations at structural collapse incidents. Structural collapse can happen due to failure of reinforced and unreinforced masonry or concrete. Some of the common causes of structural collapse are ground instability such as mudslides, sinkholes, fire accident, vehicle impact, structural characteristics like age, materials, methods and design, extreme weather, which includes rain or flood waters, snow accumulation, tornadoes and windstorms, explosions that could be due to bombs, utilities, fireworks, etc., earthquake or volcanic activity such as excess volcanic ash deposits. Next, let us learn about searching and locating people trapped under the debris. During structural collapse, people may get trapped under the debris. The NDRF team needs to follow a set of techniques and procedures to confirm the presence of live victims in a void space within the collapsed structure. It also has to establish communication with the victim and perform a physical search to locate and help victims. Let us learn about basic equipment required for physical search. Basic equipment required for physical search are complete set of personal protective equipment and emergency medical kit, minimum personal supplies required to function unassisted for at least 12 hours like drinking water, food and proper clothing, basic tools such as portable radios like walkie-talkie, if available, building and work site marking supplies includes paint, chalk, flags, cones, marking or scene tapes, warning and alert devices, reconnaissance and vision binoculars, photo camera, flashlight, search diagrams, pencils, color pens, clipboards, improvised technical search equipment and additional materials like hazardous materials response guide. Let us look at the steps for searching and locating the live victims. The steps include compile and analyze available information, secure the scene by marking the area with the help of cones and marking or scene tapes, inspect and evaluate the structure for stability and look for any possibility of victims trapped inside the rubble, rescue victims with easy access on or near the surface, create a diagram of the structure, select the area to be searched, select a search method, confirm the presence and location of potential victims with the resources and equipment available and initiate pre-hospital treatment of the victim immediately, if located. There are two types of search operations. They are hasty search and extensive or grid search. Click on each type to know more. Hasty search is conducted very quickly for detecting the presence of survivors on the surface or easily accessible void spaces. It accomplishes rapid detection of victims, scene assessment, which includes the information gathered that aids in sizing up of the rescue problem. It helps in prioritizing the evacuation procedure to be adopted. Extensive or grid search is conducted in a very methodical or technical manner to pinpoint the exact location of victims. An extensive or grid search accomplishes a thorough, systematic search, redundancy checks, and use of alternate search resources and methods. There are various search methods available to carry out search operations. They are physical void search, hailing search, line search, and canine search. Let us know each of them in detail. Physical void search operations do not require specialist or unique, expensive equipment. They only require the sense and some established procedures. In most incidents, by the time specialist rescue teams arrive, a basic physical search is done by neighbors, passers-by, or first responders. Trained Aapda Mitra can be instrumental in such type of search with the help of local resources. The advantage of physical void search is that there are readily available resources for search. Large areas can be quickly covered. Physical search does not require specialists or special equipment. Volunteers can be quickly trained to support the effort during physical void search. Visual sighting provides conclusive verification of the exact location, position, and condition of victims. Also, the positive findings do not require secondary verification. The disadvantages of physical void search are generally only surface and readily accessible victims can be located. Search tactics are less effective at night. Proximity required may be dangerous to search personnel. Results of the search tactics are not conclusive. There is no surety that all victims have been located. Next, let's understand what are void spaces. Possible location of void spaces in typical collapse patterns are V-shaped collapse, which usually occurs when the center support is compromised and the floor or roof collapses and settles in a V shape. Pancake collapse, which occurs when pillars and other supporting structures in a multi-storied building fail as a result of an earthquake, causing floors to fall on top of each other. Lean-to collapse, which occurs when only one side of the floor, roof or structure collapses and forms a lean-to. And cantilever collapse occurs when one or more of the structure's walls fail, leaving support for the structure dependent on the remaining walls. Now, let us understand the procedure for physical search in multiple rooms. The basic instruction for searching multiple rooms is go right, stay right. After entering the structure, turn to the right, stay in contact with the right wall, either visually or physically, until the entire accessible area has been searched and the team returns to the starting point. If the search team needs to exit and cannot remember the direction they entered, simply turn around and stay in contact with the same wall, either physically or visually, keeping it on your left. Now, let's learn how hailing search is performed. In this search, searchers go around the collapsed structure in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction looking for victims. They call out loudly or using a megaphone. All searchers then listen for responses. They point in the direction of any potential response to the instructions. If more than one searcher hears the sound, the direction in which they point will triangulate on the source of the sound. This must be noted on the personal notes which each rescuer makes. A rough sketch of the area and the direction of the source of the sound must also be marked on the sketch. In addition to hailing, searchers may also knock with something solid, usually metallic ones, over the debris in order to elicit a response. Let us learn about the advantages of hailing search method. There are readily available resources capable of quickly covering large areas. Hailing search does not require specialists or unique electronic equipment. Volunteers can be quickly trained to support the effort. Searchers may quickly triangulate on victim location. Hailing search can be employed day or night from positions of relative safety. This procedure can be enhanced with the use of megaphones and electronic listening devices. Let us look at the disadvantages of hailing search method. Effectiveness diminishes over time as the victim's condition deteriorates. Victims must be capable of making recognizable sounds. Often the sounds made by the victims buried in collapsed structures do not reach outside and therefore may not be heard by the searchers. Result of this search tactics are not conclusive that all victims have been located. Additional search tactics may be required to pinpoint the exact location of survivors. Now, let us learn about line search in large open areas. Use the line search method in auditoriums, cafeterias, and offices with multiple partitions. Spread search team members in a straight line across the open area, 3 to 4 meters apart. Slowly walk through the entire rubble area to the other side. Team members on the ends of the line search perimeter rooms use the go right stay right method to move. The procedure may be repeated in the opposite direction. Canine search is carried out by specialized canine teams having specialized dogs and their handlers. It is the best way to locate trapped victims in large areas in shortest possible time. Next, let us learn about victim management. Some precautions should be taken during a search. They include: never make inappropriate comments that victim should not hear. Always assume someone is listening to you. Always stay positive. Remember that the victim is in the worst possible position and fighting to stay alive. You can enhance their chances of survival by being positive about the possibility of extricating them. You may be the first person the victim is able to communicate with. Therefore, it is important to project a sense of confidence and hope. Next, let's learn about the process to be followed for initial contact with a located victim. During initial contact with a located victim, the first thing is to identify and overcome language barriers. Then identify yourself as a rescuer. Project confidence and calmness in your voice using the right choice of words. Obtain the given information: name of the victim, approximate age, whether the victim is an adult or child, type and extent of injury, hydration status, warmth and duration of confinement. The victims who are trapped under the debris can be searched with improvised search equipment. They can be detected with acoustic detection devices like a stethoscope and recorder with a microphone mounted on a pole. The victims can be detected using visual detection devices like a telescopic mirror with illumination and a video camera. Victims can also be detected with the help of sound transmission devices like a loudspeaker mounted on an extension with a microphone and portable radios. Now, let us learn about the role of a volunteer. Volunteers provide manpower support to main rescuers. They provide drinking water to responders engaged in search and rescue. Volunteers help in cleaning debris. Volunteers help in taking care of livestock. Volunteers help government departments in the restoration of basic amenities. Volunteers also help victims get first aid. The key points discussed in the module are: collapsed structure, Search and Rescue, CSSR, is an operation to conduct safe search and rescue operations at structural collapse incidents. A hasty search is conducted immediately to detect the presence of survivors on the surface or easily accessible void spaces. An extensive or grid search is conducted in a methodical technical manner to pinpoint the exact location of victims. A basic instruction for searching multiple rooms is go right, stay right. A canine search is carried out by specialized canine teams having specialized dogs and their handlers. Now, it is time to check your understanding of the topic. Answer the given questions. This is an evaluation exercise. All questions are equally weighted. You need to score at least 60% to pass the test. Read the questions carefully and select the appropriate options. Congratulations!